Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Look, dealing with government paperwork can feel, well, like a total maze. But today, we are tackling something absolutely essential: how to report income changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, in Virginia. If you want to dodge sudden benefit drops and just handle this stuff with zero stress, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
So here's the question for you. Could a new job, or say a sudden raise at work, actually cost you your groceries? It's a real anxiety for thousands of households, right? Imagine you finally land that new gig, or you get a hard-earned raise. You should be celebrating, but instead, panic sets in. You're thinking, wait, is this extra cash going to mess up my SNAP benefits? Are we going to lose grocery money while I'm just trying to get back on my feet? Honestly, the short answer is that knowing exactly what, when, and how to report these changes is literally the best way to protect your benefits from any sudden disruption.
All right, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. SNAP in Virginia explained. 2. What changes to report. 3. How to report changes. 4. Deadlines and best practices. And 5. Protecting your SNAP benefits.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, SNAP in Virginia explained. Understanding your safety net. So, just as a quick refresher, SNAP is an absolutely vital safety net here in Virginia. It helps hundreds of thousands of folks. We're talking low-income families, older adults, individuals with disabilities, basically freeing up their budgets for other crucial things like utility bills or medicine. And as you know, if approved, those benefits get loaded onto a Virginia EBT card. It works exactly like a regular prepaid debit card. You just swipe it at grocery stores, convenience stores, farmers markets, and yeah, you can even use it to buy approved food items online through retailers like Amazon. The whole shebang is managed at the state level by the Virginia Department of Social Services, or DSS. Moving right along to Section 2, what changes to report? The what of your SNAP playbook. Knowing what to report is honestly half the battle.
Now, this right here is the biggest fork in the road for SNAP recipients, so listen closely. Virginia actually splits households into two totally distinct reporting categories, and it all depends on the length of your certification period. On one side, we have simplified reporting. That's for households certified for 5 months or longer. On the other side, we have change reporting, which applies to folks certified for a much shorter time frame, just 1 to 4 months. You absolutely need to look at your DSS paperwork to figure out which bucket you fall into, because the rules are vastly different for each.
Let's look at the simplified reporters first. If your household is certified for 5 months or more, good news, you've got a much lighter reporting burden. You generally only need to raise your hand and act if one of these major triggers happens. First, if your total household income before taxes jumps over 130% of the federal poverty level. Second, if you're an able-bodied adult without dependents and your work hours drop below 20 per week. And third, if you hit a windfall, specifically lottery or gambling winnings of between $3,500 and $4,250 or more, depending on the current DSS guidelines at the time. Now, in stark contrast, if you're in that change reporters group, the 1 to 4 month certification folks, your reporting requirements are a lot stricter. You've got to report income fluctuations of more than $125. You have to tell them if you start or stop a job, or even if you just switch from full-time to part-time. You also need to flag if someone moves in or out of your house, if you change your address and your shelter expenses change because of it, or if your liquid resources, meaning cash, bonds, or bank accounts, hit certain limits, usually $2,250 or $3,500 plus. So yeah, it's a much more hands-on reporting process for sure.
All right, Section 3, how to report changes. Taking action to secure your benefits.
So, how do we actually do this? Well, the Virginia DSS gives you 3 main channels to get this done, to really accommodate everyone, whether you're super tech-savvy or you just prefer the old-school paper route. You can use their digital portal, Common Help, which is open 24/7. You can do it by phone, via the Enterprise Call Center, or you can go the traditional route by submitting a paper change report form through the mail or just dropping it off directly in person at your local DSS office. For those of us who have internet access, the digital route via Common Help is honestly incredibly efficient. It's really just 3 simple steps. Step 1, go create an account on commonhelp.virginia.gov. Step 2, link your active case. To do this, you're going to need your unique case number and member ID, which you can just grab off any recent correspondence your caseworker mailed to you. Step 3, navigate over to the Report Changes section. That's where you literally just type in your new income amounts and directly upload digital copies of your verification documents, like snapping a photo of your pay stubs. Oh, and as a best practice, always keep a screenshot or that confirmation number of your digital submission for your personal records. Now pay super close attention here because there's been a very important recent policy update regarding those verification documents. It used to be that you could sometimes just give a verbal statement over the phone detailing certain expenses to get an income deduction. Yeah, that is no longer the case. You absolutely must provide physical or digital documents now. We're talking actual pay stubs, actual utility bills as hard proof of the expense. If you don't provide that hard documentation, your deductions simply won't be applied.
Which brings us to Section 4, Deadlines and Best Practices. Timing is everything. I want you to literally burn this number into your memory right now. 10.
This is the absolute golden rule of SNAP reporting in Virginia, the 10-day rule. When a mandatory change happens in your life, say you get a new job or your income crosses that 130% poverty threshold we talked about earlier, you have exactly 10 days to report it. Furthermore, the state strictly mandates that it must be reported absolutely no later than the 10th day of the month following the change. Letting this deadline slip? That is the #1 way to completely complicate your case.
So, the crucial takeaway here is knowing the difference between what requires immediate action and what can actually just wait. For mandatory 10-day reports, like losing a job or a massive income shift over your reporting limits, you absolutely must act within that 10-day window. However, if you just get a tiny little pay bump that keeps you well below your reporting threshold, or maybe you have a minor routine update, don't stress, you can wait. You just report those minor changes during your 6-month interim report or your regular recertification period.
Finally, Section 5, protecting your SNAP benefits, keeping your assistance secure.
Look, the state is crystal clear about the penalties for violating SNAP reporting rules. If you, say, forget to report an income increase and the state accidentally overpays you, you might be required to repay all those benefits back to the government. And beyond simple mistakes, intentional violations carry some pretty severe consequences. Giving false information, hiding facts to get benefits, or attempting to trade or sell your EBT card are strict violations. Also, using SNAP to buy non-food items, alcohol, tobacco, paper products, is totally prohibited. Repeated or severe violations can literally result in a total ban from the SNAP program. But hey, these are entirely preventable speed bumps as long as you stay organized and transparent with your caseworker.
Now, before we fully wrap up, I do need to read a quick reminder. This explainer is an educational guide and does not substitute professional advice. Always consult your Virginia DSS caseworker or a professional advisor for personal assistance. Every single family situation is totally unique, and your local DSS office is always going to be your ultimate final resource.
So I'm going to leave you with a provocative question to test your own standing right this second. Do you know your exact certification period and whether you are a simplified or change reporter? Honestly, if you don't know the answer right off the top of your head, the minute this explainer finishes, I highly encourage you to go log into Common Help or dig out your DSS paperwork and check. Because knowing your status, that is the ultimate key to keeping your benefits secure and your family fed. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and stay informed out there.